How's it going, guys? David here, and I decided to bang out this recording real quick before I head out today. We are doing our week 5 game against Skyrander, and I forget his team name. Oh, the Scandinavian Stoutlands. That's the one. Sorry about that, Sky. So anyway, we are 2-2 with a -1, and Sky, I believe, is 1-3, maybe? But anyway, so his team's really scary. You can see on the side there. He has Top Coco, Landorus, Zam, Guzzlord's actually extremely threatening to my team. And then the rest is kind of whatever. Superior could be a problem. Volcarona is definitely a problem. But I feel like I played around it enough. So, regardless, let's just start looking at the team and what I brought. As you can see, there is a Scarfrose raid on your screen because it just wins. It absolutely destroys his team. After some chip damage on a couple of things, Scarf Sledge Bomb just wins the game. The only things that really stop it are sort of a Poison Resist Berry Coco. A Volcarona can take one hit and Quiver Dance, and then it will be out of range for the second one. Megazam's 2-hit KO'd, Registeel Walls a Sludge Bomb, and Guzzlord tanks if it's an Assault Vest set. So, Leaf Storm, Sludge Bomb, E-Ball. I only need Storm and Sludge Bomb for basically everything. Spikes is if I get a chance to, and if I'm predicting the Registeel, and then E-Ball is just for general coverage. Up next is our second win con, which is a special Landorus Incarnate with Rock Polish, HP Ice, Earth Power, and Fly with the Flynium Z. Flynium Z lets me hit everything that my 2 special moves can't touch, such as Volcarona, Superior, Megazam, and things of that ilk. And once everything's chipped once again, Landorus kind of cleans. So the plan is to win with one of those two. And to sort of help me break everything is our Mega Kang set this week. Sub, Wish, Ice Beam, Earthquake. You may be looking at this spread and being like, what the hell is wrong with you, Dave? So, max HP, so then I could sub up on the Registeel, or close to max. The defense investment lets me live an Adamant, Neutral, Tectonic Rage Z Earthquake from a Lando T. I'm guaranteed to live no matter what. I didn't need investment on Ice Beam because I needed the defensive investment more, and I needed the speed more, and the Earthquake damage was more important than the Ice Beam damage because it was still a 2-hit KO regardless. The Spadef is just general Spadef bulk. I forget if it's for anything important. It might be, but nothing really comes to mind. I'm sure I live things like Volcarona at +1 and random assortment of things. I think it's a Z move +1 Volcarona. Who knows? The speed, though, that's important. I outspeed an Adamant Lando T. I'm not expecting like a Jolly, I'm not expecting a Jolly set. I think if he brings Lando, it's either going to be a sort of defensive Rocky Helmet set to deal with my Mega Kang, because it's his only real Rocky Helmet user on his team. Or he's bringing a Rock Polish set, and if it's Rock Polish, I'm expecting Adamant because it kind of outspeeds my whole team at +2. So, yeah, those are the 2 sets I'm expecting. And if he's Rock Polish, I'm expecting Adamant, not Jolly. And in general, I'm more expecting a defensive set than an offensive set. So, I really saw no reason to run a ton of speed for the Lando, so I outspeed Adamant because I live Adamant and Ice Beam 2-hit KOs. So, Ice Beam is for the Lando, of course, and for things like Superior and whoever can take Earthquakes. Earthquake OHKOs Nihilego, it 2-hit KOs Registeel. The 20 attack investment, 2-hit KOs Volcarona. It does 50 minimum. And yeah, this thing's just here to set up on his bulky things and sort of chip them down for my mons to sweep. Good support set. Now, I have a SPDF Excadrill. It checks things like Tapu Koko, it checks Mega Zam. I have Sand Rush instead of Mold Breaker, so that because I don't need Mold Breaker, and I don't want to give his Zam Mold Breaker if he wants to trace it. That's also the same reason I'm not running Technician Hidden Power on Roserade, so that I don't give Mega Zam Technician boosted HP fightings for my Excadrill or my Mega Kang. And so, yeah, Spin, Earthquake, Stealth Rocks, Toxic. Toxic hits the Lando, Earthquake hits literally everything else. And that's that. We have an Assault Vest Thundy T. Thundy T is really good in the matchup. It helps me check Koko, it helps me check Superior, and in general it can put in a ton of work with U-Turn and T-Bolt, as well as Focus Blast for things like Guzzlord and Registeel. I'm not, and once again, I'm not expecting sort of these Scarf Lando or anything like that, so I could just run HP Ice. I'm going to stay in on the Lando every time. Assault Vest is for Superior and for Volcarona. I don't expect Volcarona to come because any sort of Komodo that I bring walls Volcarona 100%. Like, I think Uninvested even takes less than 50 from like a +1 Fire Blast or something. It's kind of gross. So I figured he'd expect some sort of Komodo set to come to sort of protect, to sort of check Guzzlord and to check Volk. So I didn't expect Volk to even bother showing up. And then finally, we have Colbur Berry, Forewarn, Calm Mind past Musharna, Max SPDF. This walls the Keldeo since Roserade is offensive, and I'm not bringing anything else that sort of walls Keldeo. This doesn't get 2-hit KO'd by Specs Pump. Forewarn lets me see what kind of Keldeo it is. Like if I switch it in and it says his strongest move is Secret Sword, then I know it's like a Calm Mind or a Toxic set, and I can switch accordingly. Or if I see it's Hydro Pump, I'm like, alright, it's probably Specs. Or if I see Focus Blast, oh, it's definitely Specs. But if I can pass a Calm Mind into Roserade, Landorus, Kang, or Thundy, then those things just have a super easy time sweeping. I can Calm Mind as what I expect the Guzzlord to come in, and then Baton Pass on the Colbur Berry, using the Colbur Berry, and then proceed from there. Otherwise, if he doesn't bring Guzzlord, Musharna has a really good chance to like sort of sweep once the Registeel's chipped down, because it just +1 Psyshock does a lot of damage, and his team is mostly special. So that's the team. We can jump into the battle. As you could see, he brought the things I was most scared of. Tapu Koko is kind of whatever. I don't know what to expect from it. It might be Shuca Berry, it might be a Poison Berry. Lando, I'm expecting, like I said, either defensive helmet or a sort of adamant rock polish set. Mega Zam, I'm expecting to see Calm Mind, maybe Encore. Superior is Superior. Registeel is probably his rocker, considering he brought it, or it's a curse set. And then Guzzlord, I'm expecting it to be AV, and it was the only thing that I was super afraid of aside from Volcarona, considering I willingly chose to not prep for it. But anyway, let's start it up. I'm just going to lead with my Kangaskhan as he leads his Registeel. I'm going to sub up on his either T-Wave Toxic or Seismic Toss. He goes for his rocks. I get to go for my EQ and do about 50, meaning it's probably physically bulky more than anything. His Earthquake doesn't break my sub, which is wonderful, as he goes into his Landorus as I toss up a Wish, expecting this one to get broken. Okay, sorry. He Earthquakes to break my sub as I Ice Beam. I see that he's faster than me, which means that he's potentially Scarfed, is my immediate thought. So he goes into his Tapu Koko as I go for another Ice Beam. I know I can live one, so I'm just going to stay in as he goes for a Brave Bird. I don't know what kind of Koko he is as I toss up a Wish. I expected Volt Switch, to be honest. He roosts as I go for an Earthquake, And I don't really know that play. Maybe he was expecting me to switch out or something, so he got a free wish, but he saw Earthquake, so he should have figured that it killed. He goes into Zam, and then pivots out to his Lando, as I switch out, I think, to my Excadrill, predicting to check the Zam. He makes a good call. I go into my Lando, not wanting to take things like Earthquake or Stone Edge, as he goes for a knockoff, which is fine because I have a Z move. He sees that I have the Z move on this mon instead of my Thundy, as I just go for a really safe HP Ice. I debated going for Fly, but I needed a high roll to kill, so I just switch out into my Excadrill sort of as a sack. I didn't really need Drill at this point since Coco was gone. I go for a Spin, and that was kind of a misplay. I don't like that. I really regret that spin play. I should have set up my own rocks, because his rocker is still alive in Registeel, and it can very easily come in on my Roserade. It can very easily come in on my Thundy. It can come in on my Musharna, and in general, he can just get rocks back up. But I assumed that I would be able to keep Registeel off the field until I was done needing my Thundurus. I was clearly mistaken. I should have set up rocks or gone for an Earthquake, because an Earthquake would have put this in range of my Thundurus, it would have put it in range of my Landorus, it would have put it in range of my Kangaskhan, I think. It would have been close. And, sorry, that was my phone, if you heard that. But yeah, I go for a spin, and yeah, that's whatever. I take the Fire Blast like a champion. He switches out as he goes into his Landorus. I believe I get my rocks up. No, I Earthquake, expecting to just kind of sack this. Here I decide to sack it, show off my Chople Berry as he goes for a knockoff. I know I can go into my Kang and get a really nice substitute here, knowing that it can't break my sub with a knockoff. As he switches out, I'm going to go for a Wish. Oh god, I messed up. I should have went for an Ice Beam. What I should have done was gone for an Ice Beam. 100%. But I figured I was at 50%. I wanted to keep this thing kind of healthy. But Ice Beam into Earthquake would have killed the Registeel. I also just didn't expect the Registeel to come in, because Earthquake plus Ice Beam should kill if he ran the calcs. But, c'est la vie. I Earthquake as he gets his Suicide Rocks up. I get my Wish back, I'm back at full, which, hindsight, maybe it was a fine play. I think I just go for an Earthquake, because I didn't really need anything to sort of live. And there goes my phone again. He Earthquakes to break my sub, that's whatever. I go for an Ice Beam. I should have just tossed up a Wish and gone into one of my floaters. I go for an Ice Beam to sort of scout what he wants to do. I see that he's Life Orb Leaf Storm, and I'm like, well, something has to die here. Goodbye, my Musharna. I switch to Musharna because it was kind of irrelevant. There's no Keldeo, and like, it's not going to sit up on Zam. So I sack it, hoping he'd miss Leaf Storms or something, and Giga Drain plus Leaf Storm kills my Musharna. Unfortunately, Mush couldn't do what it wanted to do. So I go into my Rose, and he doesn't expect the Scarf, or he expects me to overpredict, or he probably just didn't expect me to be Scarfed. He probably expected to Scarf Thundurus, and so I catch him with a Sludge Bomb. Yeah, easy as that. I know that's going to bring Registeel in, but I don't really care enough. I can just go into my Kangaskhan. I don't need my Kangaskhan anymore, since it's really low. He goes for a Toxic, that's whatever. And I could freely go for Earthquakes to sort of break down whatever's in front of me. I think he goes into his Alakazam here. Yeah. And I decide to just sack off my Zam. He gets Parental Bond, which is kind of scary, as he goes for a sub. I'm not sure why he went for a sub. But this sub let me break his... It let me chip down his Zam and put it in range of Leaf Storm. He could have maybe won the game. I don't know. It would have come down to like a Sludge Bomb poison. But that was an interesting play on his part. He probably figured I wanted to save it for the Guzzlord, because it breaks Guzzlord and checks it really well. But I'm talking while the game's going on. I go into my Roserade. He he knows it's Scarfed and he's scared of something like a Shadow Ball or like a Leaf Storm killing from that range or something. So he switches out to his AV Guzzlord. I missed the Leaf Storm, which I was very thankful for since I missed it on the Guzzlord and I didn't miss it on the Zam. So here I decide to just sack off my Thundurus. I don't really need it for anything. It doesn't really check anything. So, and I know I could win with my Landorus. And so, yeah, I go into my Thundy to sack it off. He gets his Beast Boost. It's whatever. I just come into Lando to show off my Z-Fly. And it comes down to whether I could hit a Leaf Storm or not. So it's on the will of Showdown for me to win or lose. He traces my Sandforce, which is whatever. Psyshocks my Lando. Lando dies. Goodbye, Landorus. And in comes Roserade. And do we hit the Leaf Storm? We do. So we even get a useless crit. Didn't even matter. We did 64 min or something like that, or 62 min. So we win the game against Sky. We are 3-2 with a 0 differential. Very impressive. And our next 2 weeks are against Foghorn or Keegan, and then our final week is against Aster J. Both are very good players. Aster J is above us at the moment because he got a forfeit from Sky, and I think they're going to redo that game anyway, so technically Aster's 2-2 right now. So I don't know. Aster can make playoffs. I think Fog is out, but regardless, we want to win out, so then we're guaranteeing ourselves a spot at least. And our conference is super hectic with how many matches, how many people still have potential to make playoffs. It's crazy, but I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.